Hello and welcome to my coloring live stream. I'm here with Coloring with Ron. If you haven't seen his channel, please check him out. We're just going to do some relaxation here, some adult coloring for stress relief. And we both have coloring books here that are mandalas, which is the name of this type of shape. I'm coloring tonight from the Mandala Coloring book, which is just a book of all various different shapes. So I think I may have shared this on a previous live, but it doesn't hurt to share again what a mandala is and just a short synopsis of something about it. So the Encyclopedia Britannica defines a mandala as a diagram representing the universe, used in sacred rites and as an instrument of meditation. The mandala serves as a collection point for universal forces. By mentally entering the mandala and moving towards its center, one is guided through the cosmic process of disintegration and reintegration. Basically, mandala is loosely translated from ancient Indian Sanskrit to mean circle. These particular circles are powerful symbols that have been used by different cultures for thousands of years to represent balance, the circle of life, and a sense of unity and connection with all things. So, we're going to use the mandala to try to achieve that balance. So, we're going to kind of be quiet here and we'll maybe talk a little bit. But we're going to get started. And Ron, you've already started with one earlier, so it's looking really
Yeah, I'm
nice.
just gonna finish this one that I did with you before.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of like Easter colors. We've got Easter, we've got Passover coming up, that
Yeah,
springtime feel. So I think on my last one of them, I did
we're
this.
we're having ham loaf for Easter.
That sounds really interesting. You were telling
Yeah.
me a little bit
It's
about ham
ham,
loaf.
ham. It's ground ham and ground sausage, and it's got a sweet like glaze over it. It's very good.
What's not to love about that? Sounds
And
really good.
and I'm not like eating red meat lately, but I figure it's a holiday. Go for it.
You have to live, you know?
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, we're just gonna relax and color away.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing about mandalas is there's really no right or wrong. When you're coloring a picture, for instance, I have one coloring book that's a beach scene coloring book, and you have to be mindful of what colors are appropriate for the scene. But with the mandala, you're free to do what you want.
Yeah.
That adds to the relaxation, I think. So, and I'm just using colored pencils here tonight,
Yeah. I'm using well. These are colored pencils, but they're the twistables.
the twistables, which I love those too.
You know
I
what?
have,
That Enid had some nice. I have some nice colored pencils I need to use. I don't remember what. Here, I'll show you. But I just don't like sharpening them. I constantly have to sharpen them because I'm like I push hard. Like when you watch me, sometimes you see little bits of my crown flying
yeah,
off. That's because I push very hard. Hold on.
yeah. That's the nice thing about these Crayolas is they're
So I got this
inexpensive.
brand. I got this brand. It's called Color, like color with a E.
Uh huh.
And that was it was a gift, and they're very nice pencils, and you know they
Yeah,
have a lot of good colors with them, but it's just always see how dull that is. I always have to like sharpen them.
right. And you feel probably like you're like kind of wasting them in a way, or like going through them. But we were shown by another YouTuber today a really nice brand from Germany, which I
Mhm.
don't remember the name of it, but um, I looked them up on Amazon, and they were for kind of a mid-size package with, I think, 60 pencils. It was around $80. So, I mean, these are. cheap as chips. I mean, I don't, a few dollars, I'm sure it was. So I think that if I decide I want to stay doing coloring, maybe I'll go to some nicer ones. I think probably those really nice ones people use more art for artists that are drawing, original pieces.
I'm totally about to share you out.
And no, you're
I know.
not. Yeah, but we also have these twistables, which are really nice.
Yeah, I like them.
That's what Ron is using tonight.
I use most of the time. I
Yeah.
actually, my favorite color, the one that I like, think looks the best is markers. I think the colors and markers just pop really good.
Very vibrant. I
But-
have these markers. Now,
Yeah,
these were just an Amazon.
it's just they're very, like you said, I think you mentioned they bleed through.
Yes.
And like on pages like this where it's back and front, that wouldn't be good.
Right.
But if
Yeah.
there wasn't something on the back, you could put a piece of paper under it.
And actually, mine only has it on one.
Ooh, see, next time you do one, you should do yours in marker.
Well, I could do this part in pencil,
You
and
could do
then
half in pencil and half in marker.
I could.
Like, don't do just that part in pencil. Do like a couple bits of it in pencil. Like, keep using the pencil and then finish some of it. And maybe like the dots and stuff in marker. Kind of make it look. It would look kind of like when Jenny colors and then she diamond paints.
Yeah.
The diamond painting stands out more on the color.
Yeah.
That's what the markers would do to the colored pencil. You'd have like parts that popped.
Right.
That might be cool looking, actually.
Yeah, we could try that. I mean, there's no rules, right?
No.
Now, if you'll notice in my corner here, I have this salt lamp that Ron gave me, and
I didn't give you.
Chevy gave me this, and I thought I would add that to the background here.
I like how it switches colors. It fits well.
Visual interest. Yeah. Now Ron needs one of those too.
Yeah. I do have this dragon that does it that Belle sent me, but the battery's dead.
Oh, okay. The hardest part about this was opening the cover to put the batteries in.
See this jewel here?
Yeah.
This will change color
Okay.
and light up.
Very cool. Yeah, this has a little tiny battery compartment on the bottom, and it had a very tiny Phillips head screw. So tiny, in fact, I didn't have a screwdriver that was that small.
Well, you can use the eyeglass ones.
Well, I had some jewelry screwdrivers, but they're all flathead. So I tried that, didn't work. So I ended up using a letter opener, and I just kind of wedged it in there and got it open somehow. So,
Okay.
You make it work.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I going to use to get this open? Yeah, well, these will be spring kind of colors, get us in the mood, springtime, because here we have had pretty, not very spring-like weather, I guess I would say. Although we've been lately having a lot of thunderstorms, so I guess they say April showers, right?
Oh, there's certain things you won't know what it looks like on StreamYard. You have to look at your phone to see what it actually looks like. You see the difference? You see the chat on StreamYard, and then you see your chat on.
Oh.
See how it looks different?
Oh my gosh.
You can't see what the sticker is.
Thank you, Ron.
But do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I
You
do.
can't see the picture.
Yes.
On your phone, you can.
Yes, I can. Thank you.
That's another reason you have your phone, so you can see what the cool stickers look like.
Yes, I got my phone up, and I've got my StreamYard playing on my computer, so Yeah. So for those who may be watching or watching in the playback, I was recently monetized on my channel here. So I'm very, very happy about that and very much a milestone and accomplishment. So
Congratulations, dude. You
yeah,
deserve every bit of it. You're awesome.
thank you. Yeah, so we're kind of deciding, the direction of the channel here going forward. I've done a lot of relaxation type content. Um, I'm kind of in that same theme here with the coloring, but my channel is based in Chicago, and the name of it is This Chicago Life of Mine. So I'd like to do Chicago-based content. Um, but I do work a lot, and I just don't have a lot of free time. I kind of started with some videos of driving, which kind of was on the same theme of sort of a relaxing type of thing for those who were enjoying that. But I also do cooking videos, and I do the meals that I'm having if they're takeout or restaurants and things like that. But there's a lot of Chicago things I could do. So sites and restaurants and things around town. So we had St. Patrick's Day a while back, and in Chicago, St. Patrick's Day is a very big celebration where they dye the Chicago River green, and there's things like that, especially around the holidays. There's a lot of uh, decorations and things along the Magnificent Mile. Um,
What's the Magnificent Mile?
the Magnificent Mile is the name that they call Michigan Avenue, which is a main shopping district and really a big tourist kind of area for Chicago. That's where most people that are visiting come. And um, one of our friends was asking about who loves going to Macy's in New York, and was saying, well, I know Chicago has a big Macy's, and you should show the Macy's, and around the holidays go and show the windows, excuse me, when they're decorated for the holidays and things like that. So that is a possibility of something I may do if there's interest in that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, there's kind of some different ideas. I've seen a lot of people review
Oh,
restaurants.
you're gonna do a cooking thing, right?
Yeah, I like doing cooking.
With the Golden Girls with Chevy.
Right, I have a new cookbook, so it's a Golden Girls. I can show it here. Hang on a sec. I received this cookbook. How cool is this? The Golden Girls cookbook. And it was various recipes that are, inspired by the Golden Girls and the cooking that they did. And of course, I was looking for the cheesecake. So, and
I know. I thought it would have a lot more cheesecakes.
yeah, it has this one.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try that for sure. I also saw there's a pecan pie, but There's a lot of here's cheesy grits casserole. That sounds good too.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do videos out of this, and then my friend Chevy, who sent me the cookbook, has the same one, so he'll do some, and we'll kind of share each other out and kind of cook together in a way. I mean, we don't live nearby, but we can virtually do so.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that coming up. But time is always an issue when you work full time and have a very demanding job and all of that. But you try to do what you can. So this live was just kind of an impromptu type of thing, just to come on. It was I was just monetized. I think yesterday morning. So Ron was helping me set that up and finish that process, and decided we would just come on and do a live here. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like two birds with one stone. You can color. I can visit with my friend Ron.
Yeah.
And actually, I have three, because and also I can have a video for my channel. So
Yeah.
I suppose if you're here for the relaxation and our talking is irritating you, you can always
Mute it.
mute it.
Literally.
Right. So I know there's a segment of my audience who enjoys the relaxation type things, and I do car rides and stuff, and that was one thing. I kind of started doing some videos about various areas of the Chicago area, and I've recorded on my various drives and things. So I also like to do shopping hauls, like grocery shopping and things like that, and that was something that did. I've only done one so far, but it did fairly well. So there must be some folks that are interested in that type of content. So I plan to. I don't shop very often. I am very busy, so I usually grocery shop about once a month. Believe it or not.
I think hauls are actually more popular nowadays than they used to be because of the food prices. So people want to see how much food did they get for how much money.
Right. So I know a lot of channels really enjoy doing those, and it doesn't have to be anything exotic or particularly
No,
unusual. Everyone has an Aldi, it seems. So people
that's
like looking at
I
that.
think Audie's is one of the more popular haul videos on YouTube.
Yeah, and Aldi is international, so you may
Yeah.
even get a segment of the population who shops at Aldi, say in Germany, where the store is actually based out of, and they're curious to see what an Aldi looks like in Chicago. I'm pretty sure they all fairly look similar. At least in the United States. It seems to be their model is what works for one works for all, and I don't know if they are different in other countries.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it works.
yeah. And to think, I never shopped at Aldi up until.
I mean, they need very minimal employees. At the minimum, they can do with like two, probably one to bring out product and one to scan people.
Yeah, they
Because
definitely work those folks quite hard.
yeah, I would believe so, probably.
Yeah. I mean, when I go there, I'm always amazed because, there's only a couple of employees, and you'll never see an employee just sitting at the cash register waiting for someone to, come up.
Yeah.
They have somebody in the front area, and they're always multitasking. If the second they don't have someone at the line, they're up stocking shelves. They're sweeping, they're doing something like that.
Yeah.
And then they'll have somebody that's in the back bringing in new inventory out from the back. but it's limited, very limited staff, but it somehow works, you know.
Yeah.
So, should I try a layer here with the marker? You think?
Go for it.
All right, I'll try.
He is mixing. What do they call it? Not material. He is mixing. What do they call it? Not tool. Media. Media is that what they call it?
Medium, mixed medium. I think. Yeah, yeah. I'm doing a mixed medium. We'll try this and see how saturated it is. So that's what these look like.
You got a piece of paper to put behind there?
Yeah, put a piece of paper behind it. We'll see if it's enough.
Okay. Yeah, this should be, hopefully.
I love the names on these. You know, when you buy stuff off of Amazon, it's always something made in China.
Yeah.
Mogyan is the name of it. Okay.
Have you used them yet?
I did, and I didn't realize this. One side is a very fine point. Sorry, I'm trying to show the camera. Very fine point.
Oh, that's good.
And I think, oh yeah, on this side,
oh, that's good.
Is like a, you know, that's kind of interesting, actually.
Yeah.
I wonder if I should try this thicker one, or like if I do a bigger part here, maybe. I don't want to mess it up.
It's probably the same color, just different thickness.
Well, let me try it on this piece of paper.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I guess there's only one way to see. We're just going to go with it, so. It feels very wet, you know?
I bet it probably looks right through the page, huh? Look at the back. It probably went through it.
It went kind of through, but
did it get it touched the other paper a little bit?
It didn't stain the other paper, but it just kind of, you can see through. I didn't push very hard at all, so
yeah,
I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
It's a totally different feel. And it doesn't take much, you know, very light hand here. Have you ever used markers, or you stick with?
Yeah, I got these Crayola markers.
Okay. Are they real wet, or they're a little easier to work with?
I don't remember.
Yeah. When I got these, I thought these would be so perfect. But then it's like, wow, they're pretty saturating.
Yeah. It looks nice, though.
I think it looks decent, yeah.
You just always gotta let it dry because it's a marker. Yeah. It'll look a little like lighter and different when it dries.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think markers look probably the best, in my opinion. Well, you know, actually, that I've never used it, but like that colored pastel chalk stuff, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, those look pretty cool, I think.
Yeah. I was watching a channel today that's like a men's style kind of a channel. You know, the guy gives a lot of fashion advice for men, you know.
Yeah.
And, they had a guy that was doing like his own alterations, you know, like simple alterations, hemming, and, you know, like if your shirt was kind of too baggy, you know, just simple things you could do to like tailor in the sleeves or whatever. And he was, using a sewing machine, and we talked about that a little bit. Like that was both something that each of us wouldn't mind learning how to use a
Oh
sewing
yeah,
machine, you know.
I want to make clothes.
We both had a little experience with that in junior high.
Yeah, I
Um,
made a teddy bear,
I mean, it was a while ago.
a panda bear.
You made a panda bear. I made a gym bag and a pillow.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I remember it was kind of like a kit. So I think the pillow you had to pick out the fabric or whatever yourself, and the
yeah.
stuffing. It was, how simple was it? It was sew three sides together reversely, and then you stuff the filling in it, and then I think along the top you just hand stitched it closed. So that was no problem. And then you had to do a gym bag, so you had to choose a kit, and it came with all the pieces, and then sew it all together.
Yeah.
And it took a long time. It was like one of those things that you did, a little bit every day during your class, and
Mm-hmm.
it was all good until this one kid sewed over his own finger with the sewing machine. And then it was like, oh, I have a healthy
Oh,
respect for sewing machines.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I think sewing's cool.
yeah. When I remember learning, you had to wind the bobbin, and I don't remember all exactly, but it wasn't
I
terribly.
remember when I was little, going to my one grandma's house, and she would have a room where she just made quilts, and she'd be back there, and you would just hear her sewing away.
Yeah. Yeah. That, that noise. Well, I was thinking, I'm getting ready to go to a wedding in a few weeks, and it's going to be a beach wedding. So I was looking for some, because that's the hard thing with the wed. If you're going to a normal wedding, okay, you wear a suit, right? Well, this is a beach wedding, so they want you casual and in cream and white and all that stuff. Well, we don't wear that in Chicago, so um, I had to go shopping, and
Yeah.
so I found some things, but off the rack, it's always got to be a little adjusted. So I was just like thinking about bringing that stuff in tomorrow so that I'll have plenty of time to get it back and whatnot. But I was like, there's nothing probably particularly hard about this. If I had a sewing machine and had a little bit of practice with it, hemming pants and,
Yeah, they have these little like handheld ones. I thought might be cool. It's like
yeah,
a little stapler looking thing, and you just do.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, they have even classes at like Joanne's Fabric or whatever.
I would totally do that.
I would too. Like if you lived close by, I would totally go. We should do it
I
together.
would. I would.
Because I don't want to go alone. I feel
Mm.
awkward because I feel like it would be a lot of elderly women.
It is because there was one I was looking into. It wasn't at Joanne's Fabric, but it was just all old ladies.
Yeah, I mean, not that I have anything against
I
old
was like,
ladies.
maybe no, because maybe I would make them feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Like, who is this man up in here?
Yeah, so I didn't do it. But and I have a friend that is very a female friend. She's very into sewing, and she would make her own clothes in high school. She was very, you know, artistic and very wacky. So she made all these things, but she makes costumes, and I think she's one of those people that likes to do the cosplay stuff and all that.
Oh, cool.
But I mean, beautiful work, and she taught herself how to do it. Other than like we went to junior high together, and I guess she would have taken um, home economics back in junior high. as it was basically a required thing. So we all did it.
Yeah. I don't even know if they do that kind of stuff anymore.
They do. I have my niece. She's very creative, and she she did all that. And
Cool.
her grandmother likes to quilt, and so
Oh, awesome.
yeah, she taught her how to do some sewing and stuff. And yeah, I guess they still do it. So you would think that might be something that they wouldn't do anymore. That might be antiquated.
There's just a lot of things I think people should spend more time doing than playing video games and stuff, like learning a craft, like learning to sew, learning to do something. I'm speaking for myself too. I need to learn.
Yeah, yeah. Well, back when we were, at that age, I mean, I remember it just was not cool for, the boys to be doing the home ec. But the nice thing is that it wasn't really a choice. It was
Yeah.
everyone was required to do it. So
We cooked and stuff. It was fun doing all the cooking.
yeah.
Like you got into groups and you had to decide what you were going to cook with this stuff, and we all different groups would cook and judge it and stuff.
Yeah. And I think the nice thing is the fact that it wasn't an option to opt out, because I think had there been, then no boys would have done it. Even if they had wanted to, they would have felt too self-conscious, or, it wouldn't have been accepted, and they probably wouldn't. But the fact that everyone had to do it was good. And I think we also had like a woodworking class, and I think everyone had to do that as well, the boys and the girls. And,
Yeah.
so that was nice, actually. I remember there was like a meeting, a parent type meeting, and the principal was giving a speech, and for the parents, and the students could come in the evening. And I remember this one father stood up, some random father, and he was so outraged, and he was addressing the principal, and he's saying, "Why does my son have to take home economics?" And the principal was like trying to explain why, this is not really necessarily about the particular activity. It's about, learning to follow directions, and whatever he was saying. And this father was just like, "Well, I don't want my son having to make some frilly little dress."
Oh Lord.
I was like, "Oh God, sit down, guy." So, but that was a long time ago. I'm sure things changed.
I mean, I don't think they would make a boy make a dress.
No, and that father was just very, he was
probably thought they would, though.
He probably thought they would, and you can tell this guy was like, a real man's man,
Yeah.
So he was just like, "My son should be doing wood shop," and they're like, "Well, he will be, actually. We all do wood shop." It's like, "Oh no, only wood shop. He shouldn't have to." And they're like, "Well, it's not just sewing, sir. It's cooking too, and these are life skills that everyone should have at least a very basic understanding, so when they get older, they can at least feed themselves."
Yeah.
And he was like, "It's not really necessarily about the sewing. They'll know how to sew on a button. They'll know how to do some simple things."
I mean, if you know how to sew, you can sew your cut shut if you get hurt hunting.
Yeah. Right. It was like you could fix a hem, or I don't know. But it was nice, actually. So I'm glad that I did that.
I enjoyed it. Like those are the classes I remember in school, really.
Mm-hmm. Right. I don't remember what happened in algebra, but I remember that we learned how to sew and make a bundt cake.
Yeah. Well, I was actually a nerd in math class. I was one of the smart. It was me and Barbara Matsey. We were like the two smart ones in math.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, and I was very good in English, And it's generally that way. Most of the time people are good at one or the other, but rarely, you know, both. You kind of have one type of mind or the other. But I never enjoyed math.
No, I'm good at like writing now. I don't think I was very good in English in school,
Hmm.
but now I'm pretty good at writing.
Yeah,
I mean, in college I got good grades in writing, but like high school, middle school, not so much.
yeah. Well,
Because you're,
I had some really amazing teachers in college, especially in English, and they took the approach. And I remember there was a lot of international students at my college, and um, a lot of them, well, their English was not their first language, and so I remember going into the class, and one of the first assignments was to write, some kind of a story of some sort. And then we had to get into small groups and sort of help critique each other's and then rework them. And then ultimately the next class turned them in with the, and I remembered hearing, as they would read their work to you, and they weren't, English wasn't their first language. And I just remembered thinking, oh my God, like I'm totally getting an A, here. But this teacher really took into consideration like meeting the student where they were. So it
yeah.
wasn't that way at all. It wasn't like, oh, I'm getting an A and that person's getting a D. Because, even though there was clearly a major difference in our skills and abilities, but she really forced us to grow as individual writers, meeting us where we are at our skill level instead of just kind of, giving you a pat on the back. It was like, okay, this is where your baseline is, and we're going to, work to advance you further. And that may never be the same for these two students who come from
Hmm.
totally different, backgrounds. But she was very hard, and I remember spending so much time on things, and it was like everyone got a C, no matter how good you did in the first, a C or worse on the first draft of a paper, and you'd be like, what, like, but that was her way. It was like to push you, and for me it ended up becoming like a challenge. It was like, well, how can that possibly be? So let me just work so much harder, and it was like, okay, well, now you got like a B, and you're like, a B from all of the work I put into that. But it was to challenge you and push you. And a lot of people didn't like this professor.
No,
I
I
ended
get it
up,
though, because she's like, or he or whatever. What was it?
it was a woman.
Or she's like, I'll give you a C on your first draft. That'll push you to make it better to try to get that better grade. If I give you
Right.
a really good grade on that first draft, you get comfortable.
Yeah. And that's why in the beginning it was so frustrating, because it's like, what could I have done differently, and it was very, very frustrating. And I mean, I would spend more time on that than anything, because it was something that I enjoyed, but it was also like, you know I wanted to prove something. And um, as much time and effort as I put in, um, I probably ended up with like a B plus in the class, and everyone was like, "Oh, I hate this professor. She's so hard on us and everything." I ended up signing up for I think 3 classes in total with that same professor, because I could see that I was growing so much as a writer from her. And
Yeah, cool.
yeah, it was one of those professors. It's like that was so influential in my life, and that I'll always remember. Yeah. Sometimes you have one of those teachers that really uh, influences you and touches you, and really helps you to grow. So
Yeah,
that was one of them.
it's good.
Yeah, man. One of my colleagues at work today has been so sick. Like,
Oh no.
I'm just like, I'm worried. Like, you know, I'm like, I do not want to get whatever the heck this guy has. He was coughing and hacking all over the office.
You're like, dude, stay out of the break room.
He went to the doctor during work yesterday, and then I called and said, "Well, where are you?" And I'm still waiting for the medicine and stuff. I said, "Well, just go home." Like, I was thinking, like, we don't really want you here,
Yeah.
But he was back today, just coughing away.
Lord.
Yeah. It's like that's the last thing we need when a lot of people are going to be getting together with I thought for sure the first day he came in after being off sick another day, I was like, that's got to be COVID, And when I had COVID, he was the person that I caught it from, So he said no, he went and he's taken several tests and it wasn't COVID. But a lot of us are getting together with family for Passover, for Easter, or whatever, and I know that this Thursday starts Passover, Sunday is Easter Sunday, and the 16th starts Orthodox Easter. So we have some holidays coming up.
Yeah. I'm gonna make Chevy's gonna make ham loaf.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna make macaroni salad, green bean casserole, some rolls, deviled eggs. What else? Macaroni salad, green bean casserole, deviled eggs. I don't know, probably some mashed potatoes or something.
Mm-hmm.
Not like a whole ton of food because it's just us, but
yeah, but a nice spread.
Yeah,
good special. Yeah, that's nice. I have a religious background of Jewish and Christian. So, but we will also be celebrating Easter too. So we're having the whole family getting together, like relatives and stuff. So we've got a housewarming party. It's also a Easter celebration, and it's a Sweet 16 for my niece. So we're kind of rolling them all into one.
sweet.
Having it all together. So
That's what I want to do with holidays and birthdays. I want to make all of them one day. Just have a big old huge celebration. Like, all right, that's over with. I'm not worry about no more until next year.
Yeah. I have to get something for my niece's Sweet 16, So it's like, what do you get for a Sweet 16?
Just buy her a car.
Yeah. I was thinking some jewelry.
That's your like.
Well, her birthstone is diamond.
There you go.
So my mother bought her some diamond earrings.
Sweet.
So she said, well, did you get anything yet for her? I said, no, I'm not sure what to get, So she said, well, maybe a necklace. So,
Or a tennis bracelet.
yeah. I don't want to overdo it, just because.
Well, wouldn't a tennis bracelet be cheaper than a necklace because it's less material?
Well, I'm not getting all diamonds. There might be a small diamond pendant or something, but I'm not getting. She's 16, so it's not like she's, getting married here or something. So.
I'm not a big jewelry person.
Yeah.
I got my rings. These rings. Like here's some. Let's see.
Well,
This
diamond tennis.
one. I got this ring. I got this ring, and I got this ring.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not getting a diamond tennis bracelet. That's probably about $20,000 or more. So,
Now, I like wearing like lava stone or like crystal kind of bracelets and stuff, like healing stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm thinking something simple, like, a simple necklace with a pendant. And just because it's her birthstone doesn't mean you have to get diamond. I mean, I could get her
Oh no.
something else. I don't want to go too because it's like
You
if
know
it
her
was just
favorite. Do you know her favorite color? Like maybe that will be her favorite stone.
yeah,
Just because it's her birthstone, I mean that's her favorite.
yeah,
Sure, like whatever you get her. Oh, okay.
I think so too. And it's not just going to be us; it's going to be other extended family. So I don't want to get something too elaborate to give in front of the rest of the family because they're not other cousins and
Yeah.
aunts and stuff. They're going to be giving normal smaller birthday gifts, which is totally appropriate.
All right.
She's special to me because she's my niece, but um, yeah, so I got to do that before Sunday.
Well, time's flying. It's like it just goes so quick.
Yeah.
I swear, the older I get, the quicker it seems to go.
uh I'm thinking about this trip that I have to take for the wedding and stuff, and I just don't enjoy traveling all that much anymore because it's such a hassle to travel. You know, not like you know, it's relaxing. The process of traveling is a pain, just between the airports and all of the logistics and everything. And I just don't enjoy that.
Yeah.
So, and no matter what, there's always just a lot of things you have to do to get ready for a trip. So, I have a good time when I'm there, but getting ready is a hassle. I kind of like these markers after all.
And it does look. It pops. The colors
Yeah,
pop.
very vibrant.
Yeah. You might have to use the tiny one part for the little center
Yeah, that's what I was
parts,
thinking.
the little dot parts.
Yeah. I think the key here is just having a very light touch, barely touching the paper.
Yeah.
Wow, yours is really beautiful.
Thank you.
This little side works perfectly for these tiny little dots.
Yeah.
And luckily it doesn't seem to really be smearing or anything. I mean, I'm being careful not to drag my hand through this, but
Yeah, you gotta give it a second to dry. So
yeah. So what's your favorite subject matter to color, do you think, in terms of, books
mm,
that you
I
have?
mean, the easiest. I really like Mandela's, but my favorite probably subject wise is like stuff like this, like superhero stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's like super deep. Like one of
Wow.
these will take me a long. Where's one in color? Like there's one in here that took like still has bits that I've.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah,
Cannot imagine how many hours that took.
but that's why I like this eventually because there's still little bits in here I need to finish,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll frame it because it's taking me a long time. It's worth it. I think.
It's
I
worth
think
it.
it'll look
Yeah,
really nice
I think so too.
if I put this in like a frame and hang it in my game room or something. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be dedicated to do that.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Yeah, I'd love to one day get, you look at some people that are, well, they're clearly artists, but that they're able to do all the different shading with the coloring. And
Yeah.
I mean, the picture just is incredible. But, I don't have any
Well, I can't either. I
train.
try to do a little bit. I mean, you learn a little bit of shading as you go. Press a little
Yeah.
harder, press a little lighter,
Hmm.
blend it with some coloring. I mean, you can do that now, I'm sure, and I can't do it very well either. But the more you practice it, the better you get.
Yeah, I always wished I had taken some, I mean, I did take some art classes, but, I was never serious with it, and I don't remember anything from it, unfortunately. I just like colorful.
Yeah, that's another reason I like the Mandelas because, like those type of things with the heroes and super villains and stuff. Yeah, well, I like to know the colors are supposed to be and everything,
Right, right, right.
and so it takes a lot longer, and I get frustrated sometimes. And
Yeah,
this, you can just grab and go with these, like whatever
yeah.
you want to color.
There's no right or wrong. Who's
Yeah,
to say what color a mandala is?
right.
Now, did you always color, or was that something you picked up again in more recent years?
I used to color with my family all the time. I like coloring, but yeah, recently, I've in the past couple of years, I've been doing it a lot more.
Yeah.
Because especially after all that other stuff, at least I wanted to be home more. Like, there's nothing to do. I'm not someone who likes being around people too much.
Mm. Well, Ron and I met here on YouTube, and we've become great friends. So,
Yeah, yeah.
I never expected to find a really great friend when I started YouTube. Um, but that was my hope, and that's what happened. So, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. And now, of course, I've met a whole different uh, community of people that totally different than the community that I would have in my regular day to day life. And that was the sort of the reason that I came to YouTube. It's like I realized one day I'm like everyone I know is very much the same, very much like me. And while that's fine, where am I going to meet people that are different than I am?
Yeah.
So I during the pandemic, I was like, well, I want to socialize, but all my friends are, we all were hiding in our houses. There was no going out in 2020. I mean, they didn't have a vaccine yet, and everyone was just scared. So I was like, well, I was so craving social interaction that I had so much of in my regular life, and now it had all come to an end. So I turned to YouTube and, uh, met a few people who introduced me to a few others, and really just became part of a whole community. And it wasn't until a little while after that that someone encouraged me to try making my own videos, and I thought I'll never do that, you know. But sometimes you have to take a step out in faith and just say, this is not my comfort zone. This would not be what I would do, but I'll try it.
Yeah.
And that's what I
Never
did.
hurts to try.
Well, it wasn't my nature. It was, I could have found 1,000 excuses, but something just, I decided, you know what? Just try it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, they say, there's a chance when you try something new that it could go well. There's a chance it might not, but there's a chance that it could go well. But if you don't try, there's a 0% chance that you're going to have a good outcome, right? I mean, if you don't ever try. So,
Yep.
how long have we been on? Oh, a little under an hour so far. So that's cool.
Yeah, probably put you right over an hour by the time you finish.
Yeah. You got another, what? Looks like about another layer around there or so.
I'll finish. Yeah, I'm slow. I'll probably save that and finish that next time.
I'm sure some of these colors of mine are clashing, but you know what? I
I
just
think it
wanted it
looks awesome.
vibrant.
I think it looks amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted a vibrant color. And these were, as I read in the beginning, they were inspired by like Buddhists and I think ancient Indian Sanskrit. They were talking about when I read a little bit about what a mandala is and stuff. So it kind of reminds me of, especially when you have all these different colors, like something very Indian, like from
Yeah,
India.
that does look a little bit like maybe one of them Indian cave paintings they would find.
Yeah.
And it looks,
I'm thinking about, the kinds of vibrant colors that they wear in, India and those saris and, that kind of thing. Everything is super colorful.
oh, you were talking about the different one. I don't think this says anything. Does this? I don't even look and see if this said anything.
Look at, here's your introduction.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Does it talk about ancient Indian Sanskrit?
Here, you want me to read mine?
Yeah, let's hear what yours says.
Now the Oriental culture is no longer so remote. The Mandela figure has become common and recognizable to just about everyone. This ancient symbol, which is rooted in Hindu and Buddhist tradition, originated in ancient times, centuries before the birth of Jesus, and spread from India to the countries in Tibet area. The term Mandela, whose etymological, I don't know, origin in the Sanskrit language is still being debated, is connected to the concept of the circle and the center. The circular shape is in fact typical of every mandala, which may contain a varied composition consisting of geometric forms and figures that create a more complex ensemble, a sort of representation of the universe and its creation starting from its center. Used as a type of meditation by monks, a path to be followed to obtain enlightenment, a stimulus to the contemplation of the cosmos, the mandala has undoubtedly also become a medium of art and popular tradition. The marvelous coloring book with so many illustrations, abundantly in detail, drew its inspiration precisely from the tradition of Oriental mandalas and offers a series of five. Oh, that's just talking about the coloring book. But yeah, cool.
Okay, so yeah, very kind of similar to
Yeah.
what mine had said. So yeah, sort of.
I never like knew that before you read your thing.
Yeah,
I just thought they were pretty.
right. I guess they were used somehow for meditation.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What do you just stare at it and then
Yeah, that's what you're.
meditation? We'll have to try that tonight. We'll have to.
Just put like make a short of it.
Yeah. Before I go to bed, I'll have to stare at this completed mandala.
You should. I bet it'll do
Yeah.
like do one of them breathing exercises where you
Uh huh.
breathe in, hold it, breathe out, and just stare at it. I bet it'll get you relaxed.
Well, yeah, meditation is like difficult because your mind just wants to
I know.
wander.
I need to. I know. I need to start meditating.
Well, I have a it was like a DVD that had it was a woman talking and she would help you to it was a relaxation and meditation.
Yeah.
And I think it was about picturing different things with your mind's eye or whatever. But when you truly relax to it, it really was very helpful, and I would often sleep better than ever. When I would listen to it. There was a time where I was listening to it every night for a couple of months and stuff, and I should probably give it another try, and maybe this time I'll try with one of these as looking at that and seeing if it can somehow help focus your mind, because for me it was always my mind would clear for a little while, but it wasn't long where your thoughts would just return to what do I have to do tomorrow, what's going on at work that I need to get done.
Yeah.
uh, so it's something you really have to work on. You'd think it would come easy, but not really. I want to do one of these someday that's like peacock colors.
Oh, peacock would be pretty.
I love those colors, the greens and the blues together. That's
Mm,
not traditionally colors you put together, but I love it.
yeah.
One time I was going to have a Christmas tree decorated with those colors. I bought all the stuff for it,
Mm-hmm.
ornaments and whatnot. I just never put it up.
Well, there's always next year. This year.
Yeah, I didn't put a tree this year. That's the thing when you're half Christian background and half Jewish. It's like
Well,
sometimes
you can put a tree and a menorah.
yeah. But yeah, this year I didn't put anything. Yeah, I like these markers. It's funny. Sometimes you got to try something another time. I was ready to just be like, I maybe
Yeah.
should get rid of these because they just take up space in the drawer, and I don't use them because they bleed through. That was what I thought the first time I used them. But, try again. Maybe you'll have a different experience. And that's what happened. Well, this is a combination of marker and at least a couple segments are colored pencil. I don't mind the combination. You really can't tell very well, which is which. Probably not on camera, on film here. Oh my gosh, thank you, Ron. My awesome little salt lamp is just...
I forgot I was muted.
Oh, that's okay. But isn't that cool?
I love it.
I do too. I really appreciate this. I'm just seeing
It matches with the coloring so well.
I know. Should show this off better. But
I mean, it adds a little bit of the salt. It won't hurt it. It adds a little bit of like color to the part of the screen that there is a color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Yeah. It's just relaxing. I made a short, I think, and I had it, in a pitch dark room, and it was really beautiful. So, and I thank you so very much for the super chats, Ron. That was very, very generous of you. Thank you so much, buddy.
Oh no, congratulations. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's my mandala. Yours is looking awesome.
Yeah, this is here. I'll show you guys a finished one just so you can see what I finished.
Oh my gosh, that is beautiful.
That was a pretty easier one.
Yeah.
Then did I finish the other one? There's one I was working on. I don't know. Oh, here's a couple.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice. I like that. Very nice. Yeah, this coloring book here has, well, as you see here on the back, it kind of bled through, but using the paper between worked just fine. So
cool.
Some of them are a little bit more simpler than others, but some of them, like this one, that's going to be some work. But this one was, I guess we put in an hour in, so.
So when you first look at that page, you're like, this isn't going to take an hour, but it does.
Mm-hmm. It does, yeah. It takes some time. But yeah, and this book has tons of these in here. I mean, how many pages does this thing have? 200? Oh my gosh.
So you start thinking like a certain YouTuber, and you're like, okay, this is one video, this is one video, this is one video.
Well, they might get a little tired of it. Here's my other coloring books. I'll show you. I have the Flintstones. Yes, when you're feeling like a kid again. These were, just cute. Like this one. I mean, it's me and Ron going bowling. So, and then I have a beach coloring book. This was, purchased in the winter because I was like, if I'm gonna color, it should be something that is tropical. So, I mean, I am no master colorer by any means. I will tell you that.
It's just relaxing. You gotta master it.
it's just relaxing. So these were, this was the first time I colored in 30 years. So, you know,
Yeah.
you got to, it's like with anything, you get out of practice. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, that was good, So we'll color more another time and we'll um, chat. That's the thing I say too, is coloring. Some people on the surface might say, well, that's kind of boring. But, it's a medium for conversation. You have something to look at while we're visiting and catching up. And I'm just catching up with my friend Ron here tonight. So that's what it's about. So
Yeah.
we'll do some cooking to come out of our Golden Girls cookbook.
Yeah.
Me and Chevy, our friend Chevy,
That'll be cool.
going to join me to do that at some point. So we'll do some different kinds of videos, and let me know if there's something of interest in Chicago that someone out there would like to see, or any ideas of video content or direction that people might be interested in. I'd certainly love to hear it and consider it. So. Well, I want to thank you for joining me tonight, for Ron, and for those that are watching in the chats. I appreciate it very much. And
You're welcome.
yeah, we always have a nice time.
Yeah.
So, well, if you haven't subscribed yet, it's not too late. If you have, welcome to the family. I love you for watching. Until next time, have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.